Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Chris from Daily Tech, and today it's the desk tour. And the whole idea behind this desk setup was to surround myself with creativity. Several creative people that I respect have said that they try to source their inspiration from outside of the community that they plan on contributing to. The reason is, if you get your inspiration from the kind of content that you plan on creating yourself, then you're always gonna be lagging behind because you're just kind of copying what somebody else has done. Whereas if you get your inspiration from other sources, then you have a better chance of being more original. So that's kind of the idea here, sourcing some inspiration from outside of the YouTube community. So the desk itself is the autonomous standing desk, and this is a completely custom setup. So I got to choose and customize everything from the material used, which is bamboo, to the frame color, which is white, and even the ergonomic cutout in the front. And that means I love this desk because it's exactly what I was looking for. I really like having the option to sit or stand, and the control panel makes it really easy to dial in some presets. Overall, this is a really sturdy, high quality desk, which is really smooth and quiet when it raises and lowers, which is great considering that this is one of the more affordable standing desks out there. Now, the beating heart of this setup is a brand new, fully loaded, maxed out 5K iMac. And this thing's rocking a 5 gigahertz Intel processor with 32 gigs of memory, a 3 terabyte hard drive, and the best graphics card that you can stick in a Mac. All in all, it's about a 4K setup, but it really lets me breeze through that video editing. Now, one tiny but really useful upgrade is the Blue Lounge Jimmy adapter, which provides a front-facing USB port so I don't have to reach around the back to plug in a bunch of cords. Now, the iMac's flanked on either side by an Electric Objects EO1 digital art frame. And actually, I edit most of my videos in headphones. So the massive speakers are gone from this setup. I know for a lot of people it's just kind of a visual thing, but honestly, I don't miss them at all. So where a lot of people end up putting studio monitors or speakers, I decided to use that space to pump in extra creativity. Now, these are kind of like speakerless vertical computer monitors that let you change the art on them whenever you want. And the art selection is really incredible. You can select art from top-notch museums, or you can upload stuff yourself, or you can even grab animated images from Tumblr. And I really like the fact that Electric Objects commissions new artwork specifically designed for a digital frame every single week. Now, over on the right is where I keep my iPad Pro. It's a 9.7 inch, and this unlocks all kinds of creativity for me. Not only can I grab it and use it as a mobile setup when I'm on my way out, but I also use it for sketching and brainstorming, for signing digital PDFs, and just an extra screen for the iMac thanks to the Duet app. And actually, I use this iPad to plan out this entire desk setup, which is pretty fun. And when I need a stand for the iPad, I use the Blue Lounge Nest, which is very minimal. You can barely tell it's there from the front, and it's got a holder in the back which you can use to stash things that you want to keep out of sight and hidden behind the iPad. And that's actually where I keep my Apple Pencil stand and charger, which works out perfectly. Now, for situations where a stylus and digital ink just won't work, I do keep a pen and a pen holder handy, and I actually keep that filled with some fresh local coffee beans, which makes the whole desk setup kind of smell like a coffee shop, which I love. Now, the lighting around the desk is provided by a Philips Hue light strip, not one of those cheap knockoffs, because I wanted something that worked really well and integrated with the lights in the studio and around my house. Obviously, this is cool for ambient lighting, and you can change the lights to all different kinds of colors. And I've actually got this light strip rigged up to turn red every time I upload a YouTube video. That is through the IFTTT, If This Then That app, and that's really fun. Now, over on the left-hand side of the desk lives one of my favorite things ever. It's the Swinging Sticks museum grade sculpture, which you might have seen in Iron Man 2. This is just there because I like how it looks, but it kind of goes along with the theme of surrounding yourself with some creativity. Now, speaking of fine art, I've got several Grove-made wooden desk accessories. Now, these are the walnut variety, which actually I think blend into this bamboo desktop setup really well. The monitor stand is especially useful because it provides some extra storage space where you can stick the keyboard and your mouse if you need more space on your desk. Now, just in front of the monitor stand is the Grove-made keyboard tray and wrist pad, and off to the right is the phone charger, which is super heavy, which I love because it doesn't scoot all over the place when you're trying to dock your phone. Now my day is usually powered by some sort of cold brew coffee beverage. In most cases, that's Grady's cold brew coffee from New York, which I swear is the best tasting coffee ever. Now personally, I'm not some sort of fanatical cable management nut, but I do have several Blue Lounge products that I use to keep things under control. I absolutely love the cable drops, which let you perfectly place and tame cords, keeping them out of the way so they can't roam around freely. And I also love the Sumo, which is basically a cable weight that holds cables down without using any kind of stickiness or adhesive. And I'm a huge fan of the cable bin, which hides all the ugliness of the surge protector and all the cords plugged into it. Plus it's got a port on top which lets you pull some cords through to do some charging on top. Now from time to time for cable management, I also incorporate a product which launched on Kickstarter called the Moss, and it's basically a cable magnet that looks really cool, by the way. Now on the walls surrounding the desk, I've got some old school art. You'll probably recognize the Dare Bear wooden art print if you watched Cool Stuff for Guys episode 1 not too long ago. Just above that is a really clever magnetic calendar which I found at the Museum of Modern Art, and just to the right of that is the moose face that appeared in several early Daily Tech videos, but of course now he's rocking some blue shades from Knockaround. And on the wall behind the computer, I've also got some canvas prints from a company called Hatcher and Ethan, which actually is the same company that I sourced these prints from in the studio. All right guys, so that concludes this desk setup tour, but I just want to end on one honest note. If you guys are younger and you're watching this and you're saying, man, that's really cool, I wish I could have stuff like that, don't let it bug you. Do what you can with what you have. Before I got this set up, I was editing videos on an 11-inch MacBook Air. That was kind of painful, but that was the machine I bought when I was just writing articles. So do cool things with what you have. Somebody's always gonna have a cooler setup of some sort, but just be yourself. All right guys, I'll catch up with you next time. Later.